The Sutton Wick air crash occurred on the 5th of March 1957 when a Blackburn Beverley C Mk heavy transport aircraft of 53 Squadron Royal Air Force crashed at Sutton Wick, Drayton, as it was then in Berkshire, following a shutdown of one engine and partial loss of power on another. Shortly after takeoff, number 1 engine was shut down as a precautionary measure when whilst on final approach back to RAF Abingdon. Number 2 engine failed to respond to throttle inputs. Aeroplane struck cables and trees 18 minutes after lifting off. Of 17 passengers and 5 crew aboard, all but 4 were killed in the incident. 2 people on the ground also killed. An investigation found that a non-return valve in the fuel system had been installed the wrong way round, causing 2 engines to be starved of fuel. The technician found responsible for incorrectly fitting the valve was charged under the Air Force Act. Following the incident, the non-return valve was redesigned so it could not be installed incorrectly. 2 RAF officers who took part in the rescue after the crash were highly praised for refusing to give up, while there was hope of finding survivors among the wreckage. As the aircraft climbed, number 1 engine on the port wing developed a fuel leak. The flight crew responded by shutting down the engine and feathering its propeller. The flight crew declared an emergency and requested an instrument approach to RAF Abingdon. The controller alerted emergency services on the ground. A short time later, cockpit instruments alerted the crew to a large loss of fuel from number 2 tank, the second of 4 such tanks on the port wing. In an effort to stop the leak, the crew deactivated the fuel cocks and boosters for the number 2 tank, but left them on for the number 1 tank. As the Beverley turned on final approach to RAF Abingdon, the crew attempted to increase power from the remaining 3 Bristol Centaurus engines. The number 2 engine, also on the port wing, failed to respond and the aircraft began to lose speed and height. Knowing that he could not reach the airfield, the captain tried to land in a field. However, the aircraft became uncontrollable and struck a number of high-tension cables and a group of elm trees that tore the port wing from the fuselage. On impact with the ground, the aircraft destroyed a caravan and a prefabricated house before somersaulting and crashing upside down. The aircraft crashed at 11 AM, 80 minutes after takeoff near Sutton Wick, 2 miles, about 3 kilometres south of Abingdon. 50-year-old Muriel Binnington lived in the prefabricated house. Eyewitness Eric Webb said, "It was swept away, and she must have been killed instantly." A 19-year-old called J. Multravers from Southern Electricity Board was in one of our houses to read the electricity meter and was also killed. A tail section of the aircraft crashed on a farmhouse near the main wreckage, trapping and seriously injuring Margaret Stanton in the kitchen of the house. She was later freed by emergency workers. On the 7th of March 2015, the Veterans Charity unveiled a temporary monument at the crash site on the green at Sutton Wick Lane. Investigations sent to local branches of the Royal British Legion, RAF Association, RAF Police Association, RAF Police, Thames Valley Police, PCSOs and the Air Training Corps. Despite very short notice, about 100 people attended, including 2 RAF NCOs from RAF Benson. On the 5th of March 2016, oak plaque was inscribed with the names of the dead, was installed in Sutton Wick as a permanent monument. It was carved by Sutton Wick resident Brian Eastoe, who served in RAF from 1952 to 1954. The 60th anniversary of the crash was commemorated on the 5th of March 2017. A memorial service was held at St Peter's Parish Church, Drayton. The congregation then went on to the crash site, where it was met by 8 RAF police dogs and their handlers, representing the 8 dogs killed in the crash. Part of Abingdon New Cemetery in Spring Road, Abingdon, Oxfordshire, formerly Berkshire. In the 2 rows there are 10 Commonwealth War grave headstones of RAF airmen who died in 1955, 1957 and 1958. The 1957 burials are 7 victims of the Sutton Wick air crash on the 5th of March 1957. There are headstones in the churchyard of the Roman Catholic Church of Our Lady and St Edmund's, Barnyard, Abingdon, Oxfordshire, formerly Berkshire. The 3 Commonwealth War grave headstones in the foreground are of the RAF airmen, all of whom were killed in the Sutton Wick air crash on the 5th of March 1957. Now amongst the stars, in love and memory of the members of the RAF and civilians who perished on the 5th of March 1957 when sadly Beverley XH117/7 crashed on this site. There we are, only 4 survived. Right, the plane came down from over there, losing height. This direction, this is what it hit. Hit the roof of this, I believe it was this one. So yeah, engines and stuff here, and also at the back of the houses up here, I've just been told. That sort of cream coloured house in front. You still find bits in his garden, dog chains and stuff, because some police dogs are in the plane, it died. So yeah, it sort of went this way. Most of it was here, little bits out the field, out the back there, all gardens of these. So this is where it was, 5th of March 1957. And this is where it all happened, this one here. Here's the Red Lion, still here, 65 years on from the accident. Eyewitness was here to see what was going to happen. It's on the main road in Drayton. Okay, just come down to do the church, and we found someone that knows about it. So, this is Norman.
Norman Green from Bayworth.
Bit random at 1:45, not even 11 o'clock, and here's the church where they had the service the other year. So you remember what happened then?
Yeah, well, we was at Larkmead School towards the end of the lessons, and we heard this noise, plane, and so we saw Beverley has crashed at Drayton. So we jumped on our bikes and rode to Drayton and went down Sutton Wick. And of course we see all the smoke and all that, and the police wouldn't let us go right down to the plane, but we could see it, and that was horrendous. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's by the sort of farmhouse, wasn't it? The duck pond.
Yeah, down right,
yeah, someone else said down there exactly where.
Never forget that, you know, some things that sticks in your mind.
Yeah,
know?
Only 4 people survived. There was police dogs.
Yeah.
Someone down there in his garden finds dog chains every now and then. That was part of it, yeah, in his garden just by it.
Yeah.
So yeah, still evidence.
Yeah, brilliant.
The Church of St Peter in Drayton. This is where I had a service the other year for it. Coming up to 11 o'clock. Graveyard the other side as well. It's nice. Here we are at the Catholic Church in Abingdon. This is where 3 of them are buried. The gravestone's just up there.